Hello everyone. Today this video is about international medical graduates who want to start their career in Ireland, Republic of Ireland. So this video is about registration process for international medical graduates for Medical Council of Ireland. Okay, so the bottom line for this video is that this video will be useful for almost all the international medical graduates, but particularly this video will be very useful for the doctors who are or the medical students who are from Pakistan, um, because many of the Pakistani graduates, they come to Ireland and they work in Ireland, and most of them they choose Ireland uh, to start working here because they don't have to go through any exams, for example, like PLAB, or uh, for America, people do USMLE, or for Australia, you have to sit for Australian Medical Council exam. Basically, after 2009, the graduates from Pakistan, they don't have to sit for the exam, which is called as PRES, which is the exam, which is, you can say, the equivalent of PLAB or AMC or USMLE, or simply NLE. Like it's a licensing exam to work in Ireland Medical Council. So why I plan to make this video is because there are many groups on Facebook, like Doctors in Ireland and Crack Press or Plab, or there are many groups on Facebook, and it's good, like you can get help from there. And what I found that most of the doctors, they ask the questions which are basically like the answers of those questions are basically available on uh, the website, like medicalcouncil.ie, or which is available on GMC dash UK, like which is the website for General Medical Council UK. So all these questions are the answers for these questions are over there. But uh, I understand, like many of the people, many of the medical students or doctors, they don't have time to go through them, and some of the doctors, they found it very hard to understand all the process. So I will try to simplify it and try to answer the questions which are, you can say, the most common questions which are asked on the groups, and I was going through them. For example, one of the question which I came across many times is like, they are just asking like if their house job is, or house job or internship is valid to get registration in Ireland or not. So let's start. So first of all, to start with, uh, like to start the registration process, one thing which you have to make sure is like your medical school should be in the list of World Directory of Medical School. This is basically very important information for all of you who are in medical schools or who have done graduation. Um, and you can simply check by the link which is given, www.wdoms.org. I can send the link in the description as well. This is the World Directory for Medical Schools, and uh, you just have to put the city name. You can search by your college name, that like either your degree is or your medical school is listed in World Directory of Medical Schools or not. Particularly very informative or very important for the people or who are studying medicine in China, in Russia, and many of the private medical colleges all around the world. Like I know many of the private medical colleges in Pakistan which are not in the list of wdoms.org. So always like make sure like not just for Ireland, but to work anywhere as a doctor in most of the countries. Your medical school should be listed in this one. And of course, like if the medical school is new, so maybe they are in process of registering their institution with this organization, but of course for that you have to wait. And before applying to for registration for any country, one thing which you must make sure is what's your plan, career plan, because there are pros and cons for every country. And of course there are pros and cons for Ireland as well, UK, Australia, and all the countries. So for example, like if I will talk about Ireland, uh, what I have seen here or what is known here, that it's not a big country, the population is not that much big. There are some hospitals, like if you will compare for example with UK, UK have a lot of population, lot of hospitals, lot of training posts. If you are looking to get a training post and that's why you are coming to Ireland, then maybe I'm not saying like it's impossible. No, not like this. I'm saying like it's hard, or you can say very hard. So it's very difficult to get a training post in Ireland. Uh, all the people who are working over here, they know that the training posts are very limited, and it's very 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 difficult to get into a training program. And this is especially because many of my friends as well, when they graduated, they were very clear that they have to do surgery and they have to be a specialist in that. So at that time, it was very hard even to get a training post in UK. So they started their career in their home country, and they had become surgeons, or like they choose steps or USMLE, and they went to states, and over there they uh, like get into the programs and they finish their specialization. So one thing which you must be clear about is that it's very hard to get training post over here. You can get, but the chances are very 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 less. Okay. And there are many doctors over here who are working here for so many years, and they are not like on training posts, but like they are working as NCHDs, which is called as non-consultant hospital doctors. And you will keep on working on that post if you will not get any training post for all your life. And that's one of the reason that many of the doctors who come to Ireland, they just go to other countries, like uh, the closest and the country where like nowadays there is a lot of jobs and a lot of training posts are there, like is UK. So they ended up in UK, get some training posts, like any type of what they are looking for, so they ended up over there. So this is one of the thing which I must tell you, very important. So now uh, the thing is that UK nowadays is very 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 famous for the doctors to get into uh, to get training, and like doctors they just go there. Okay. And they get their training programs. So this is very important. You must be sure about yourself, your future plans, and because there are like doctors who don't want to compromise even 1 year or 2 years. So remember, like for example, if you will come to Ireland and if you are looking for a training program, maybe you will end up investing a lot of years of your life without getting into any training post. Again, like try your luck, and if you can get, so you like get the training program and start working. Okay. Other thing is like the registration process, not just for Ireland but for any country, looks difficult or lengthy, but actually it is not. um, to be very honest, for example, if you are planning to go to UK, you will have to do IELTS, you have to do PLAB 1, then PLAB 2. All this process take time around more than 1 year. If you want to do USMLE, so of course you have to do step one, step two, step three, step two CS and CK. Of course, that takes. Uh, I know many of the people many of the medical doctors who take more than 2 years, and many of them they finished it in 1.5 year. So of course, it's a lengthy process. And again, for Australia, if you are looking to go to Australia, so AMC1, AMC2. And nowadays, due to COVID situation, of course, the things are getting harder. It's very hard to get the exam dates, very hard to travel to other countries. There is bans, and people like the doctors are facing a lot of difficulty. So when I go through the PLAB groups, of course, I saw many messages related to the current ban UK is implying on different countries, and they are not able to sit for their PLAB 2 exam. I know a few of the graduates who have done PLAB 1, and they're still say just waiting to get like waiting for their turn to sit for the PLAB 2 exam. Anyhow, these things will end up soon, so these are temporary things, not permanent. Okay. Now this one, you can, if you can see this thing, this one is taken from the website, which is medicalcouncil.ie. So I know like many of you have seen this thing, and this one looks very simple, but like you can see the application process and what you need when applying. So you have to create an online registration account, submit online application form, and you have to gather all the documentation which is required. And see, they have written over here like notarized and attested copy of documents. So we are going to talk about all these things in this video, and request relevant competent authorities to provide us with your certificate of current professional status. For example, if you were working in Pakistan, you were working in India, you were working in Saudi, you were working like in any other country. So competent authorities means their medical council should provide your professional status to them. And then they will send you a reference number by email. The medical council will assess and verify your documentation with other bodies or institutions. The medical council will then make a decision on your application, and if that decision is acceptable for Pakistani and Sudanese and many other countries graduates who don't have to sit for the PRES exam, they will be registered. Otherwise, if they think uh, that your application is not successful by exemption route of PRES, then you have to sit for the PRES exam. That is pre-registration examination system, PRES exam. In simple words, in this video, I'm going to explain for all the graduates from Pakistan, even the medical students who are planning to come to Ireland after finishing their medical school, to how to avoid this thing. Okay, because your one of your mistake can end up you over here that you have to sit for the PRES exam, and all the other country graduates uh, they have to sit for the PRES exam anyways. And then if you are granted registration, you will be informed of the division you can register in. So what is this is basically there is different type division of like different type of registration. For example, in Pakistan there is provisional registration, and then you will do 1 year of internship or house job, and then they give you permanent registration. Same like in Australia, they have a limited registration, they have a permanent registration, they have a specialist registration, and they have different kind of registrations. So I can give you the overview of that. If you can see over here that these are all the divisions which are in Ireland Medical Council list, which you can apply for. Internship registration is for those who are applying for internship over here. So uh, one thing like which just wanted to tell you that This registration is mostly for the graduates who are graduated from Ireland medical colleges or rest of the European Union. So this kind of registration basically you cannot apply, because you have to, if you want to come to Ireland and you are a graduate of any XYZ country other than European Union, then you have to do internship back in your country or any other country. Then there is supervised registration, there is trainee specialist registration. Like this is for those who are over training post over here, who are doing training in medicine, surgery, psychiatry, or any XYZ GP training. Then there is general registration. So this is the registration which you will be applying for. Uh, Most of the IMGs who come to Ireland, they go for general registration. And once um, you get general registration, if you get a training post, you can go on this one, or if you have completed your registration, then you can be on a specialist registration. So specialist registration is simply for those who are on specialist register, who have done their training, and they are now consultants or any other speciality. And then there is visiting EA registration. We can leave this thing because this kind, like, we don't have to do anything with this type of registration. So the most important thing for many of you who are listening, who are watching this video, when you are planning to come to Ireland, the division which you have to apply is general registration, and this is the registration which they give to all the IMGs who are planning to come to Ireland. Okay, so now we are going towards the main topic of our video, that is what are the steps to apply and how to avoid mistakes which many of the doctors they commit. And then they are asking on the Facebook groups like what to do, whether our internship is acceptable by Ireland Medical Council or not. Simply, the simple answer for these things is just one. Even if your internship is not acceptable by Ireland Medical Council, still you can get registration. But for that, you have to sit for the PRES exam, that is pre-registration examination system. I will try to make another video on that, and I will talk a little about that thing in this video as well. So, what are the steps to apply? Okay, now as I told you, like this video will be focused for most of the Pakistan, like the medical graduates from Pakistan. So you need four major things to apply for the medical council. Uh, Number one, you need a medical degree. For example, step one, USMLE step one, you can even give while you are in medical school, but you cannot give Australian Medical Council exam. You cannot give PRES exam. You cannot even apply for registration for any other country. That makes sense when you don't have a medical degree. You cannot even sit for PLAB 1 before you get a medical degree. So if anyone want to do something before getting a medical degree or while in a medical school, the best thing they can do is step 1 or step 2, right? Because they are though like the only exam, that is the only exam which doesn't require a medical degree. Then you have to sit for a English, what you can say, language test, and two most common one which are acceptable now in UK and Ireland and Australia. Australia also accept PT, but PT is not accepted by Ireland or UK. So Ireland and UK, they just accept IELTS or OET. But remember one thing, that both countries, they have different requirements for IELTS and like IELTS, but not for OET. Uh, for OET, you just have to take B in all the four modules: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. And that is acceptable if you will take, for example, B in OET. So your OET will be valid to get registration in Ireland, to sit for PLAB 1, or to get registration in Australia as well. But IELTS requirement is different in Ireland and different in the UK. For example, Irish Medical Council says that your overall score should be 7, and uh, your speaking should be 7, and none of the others should be less than 6. So you can say it's not a hard score to get, but for example, if you get speaking 7.5, writing 7.5, reading 7.5, but like your fourth module came back as 6.5, okay, so your overall score will be 7.5. So this IELTS will be valid for Ireland, but you cannot apply on that basis to Australia or the UK. Why? Because UK requires 7.5 as a whole, the total score, with none of the module you should score less than 7. So there should be at least 7 in all with overall 7.5. And that's the requirement for the Australia as well. So Ireland, the IELTS requirement, the IELTS score requirement is not that much higher, because most of the people who are attempting IELTS, I have seen that they like different people have like different doctors or medical students, they have different weaknesses. So I have seen many of the doctors who have 7.5 in speaking, 7.5 in reading, 7.5 in writing, but for example, um, 6.5 in one of the module, or for example 7.5 speaking, 7.5 reading, 7.5 listening, but 6.5 in writing. So that score is not valid for the UK, but that score will be acceptable in Ireland. So simply you have to get 7 as a whole, 7 in speaking, but in the other three, listening, writing and reading, your score should not be less than 6. If your score is less than 6, of course you like that IELTS is not valid. So OAT is quite simple. uh, the exam, the things comes as medical related, so easy to get B in all the four, you can say, modules. So quite easy. So I will recommend you to do OET instead of IELTS. Many of you, uh, OET is expensive, but uh, like the chances of getting the required score is high. And also, once you will get B in all the four modules, it will be easy for you to sit for PLAB 1, or you can get registration in Ireland as well. One of the requirement is internship, and one of the requirement is like good standing certificate from the competent authority. I will talk about that one by one. Okay, so medical degree, basically many of the medical schools, uh, they give the degree right away you finish your uh, course. But what I know about Pakistan is, upon completion of your MBBS program, they just give you the provisional certificate. And if you want to get a degree, so you have to go to your university and you have to pay some fee for the degree, and then you can get that. So that's the important thing. One thing I would like to mention over here is that the day you get your degree from the university is your conferral date, okay, and that's what like they ask for. Okay, so once you will finish the program, that will be your conferral date. So it's better to make a conferral certificate from the university as well. Anyhow, that's not a big problem for many of you. Okay, so you have to get your medical degree, for example, from UHS or from your medical university, because you have to provide the attested copy, and how to attest that we will discuss about that. Okay. Okay, so now the thing is, as I told you, that um many of the countries, or Ireland uh, except many of the countries, graduates without any exam. Okay, and what they call it as, that that is called as internship recognized as equivalent by medical council. So for example, like Sudan, Malaysia, or Australia or Pakistan, the graduates from these countries, if they have done internship from these countries as well, and that internship is according to the standards which are required by the Irish Medical Council, you don't have to sit for the press exam. So now this section is for all those, as I told you, I will make another video about that, like all the graduates which are not from these countries and they want to get registration in Ireland Medical Council, then you have to follow the press route. Okay. And what is press route? It is of like it have three parts: press 1, press 2, press 3. Press 1 is not an exam, and it is just a pre-registration assessment. Like they will take your documents, they will look at your documents, and they will think either your documents are acceptable or not. And of course, like if you have done from like your graduation from a medical school, which is uh, the name of which is in the what you can say world directory of medical schools, then they will be acceptable. So press 1 is simply you can say document screening. Then there is press 2. Okay, so one thing which I wanted to mention over here is that press 2 was an exam which Ireland Medical Council used to take many years ago, but now they are not taking press 2 anymore. So if you want to sit for press 3, so press 1, you will send your documents. Press 2, basically this exam is not conducted anymore, but you have to do some other exam which I will tell you in the next slide. And once you will do some other exam, then you are eligible to sit for press 3. So what are the press 2 alternatives which you have to do is: number 1, either you have to pass PLAB, which is PLAB 1 basically. Okay, either you have to do USMLE step 1 and step 2, either you have to do Medical Council of Canada evaluating exam, or either you have to do Australian Medical Council MCQ, the first part. So you have to write any of these four exams. Okay, but my recommendation over here is that if you want to get registration in Ireland Medical Council and you are following the press route, it's better to go for PLAB 1. I have many reasons for that. PLAB 1 is a very cheap exam, number one. Number second, UK and Ireland, they have more or less the same system. Ireland PLAB 1 is a cheap exam and it's an easy exam as well. So what is the current price for PLAB 1? You can go on GMC website, you can take a look over that, but there is a little problem over here. To sit for PLAB 1, you must have OET or IELTS. And if you are going for IELTS, so I already talked about the score needed for PLAB 1. Okay, so you have to do the English exam and then you have to sit. If you are planning to exempt press 2 by USMLE route, then you have to pass step 1 and step 2. Basically step 1 and step 2 CK, not CS. Okay, so now step 1 and step 2, they are difficult exams. There are two exams you have to sit, and these two exams take a lot of time, take a lot of money, take a lot of effort. The good thing, you don't have to sit any English exam before that, but you have to s- provide the medical council with your English certificate anyways. So that's why even if you're step 1, step 2, yeah, many of the medical graduates, who have already done step 1, step 2, and they couldn't get match in USA. So it's a very good option for them because their exam is already done. So that's why their PRES 2 will be exempted. Then there is Medical Council of Canada evaluating exam. It's a very hard exam, very expensive, very hard to get visa for Canada anyways. So not recommended at all. Australian Medical Council MCQ exam. The good thing again about this exam is what that you don't need any English exam to sit for this one. But the bad thing about this exam is what it's difficult than PLAB 1 and it's very expensive than PLAB 1. The exam fee is more than $2,700 anyway. So again, the best exam you can sit for is PLAB 1. And once you have passed PLAB 1, then you have now two options. You can sit for PLAB 2 and get UK registration, a lot of jobs, a lot of training posts, and you can do PRES 3 anyways, and you can come to Ireland and work over here. So this one is a recommended one, PLAB 1. And this one is best for those who have done steps and they couldn't get match in states, and now they want to like work in Ireland, and so they can use that exam. And Australian Medical Council MCQ exam is again for those who have done AMC Part 1 and they are waiting for their Part 2 date, or they couldn't, because AMC Part 2 is very hard to pass exam, very expensive exam, more than $3,700 I think the fee. So it's a very 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 expensive exam. So PLAB 1 for those who haven't done anything, and these are for those like who are halfway done but now planning to come to Ireland. So this is like, this part is for those of course like who are planning to do like to follow this PRES route. And once like you have like the okay, yeah, one thing which I want to mention about Australian Medical Council MCQ exam, PLAB 1 is valid for 3 years, step 1 step 2 is valid for 7 years. I don't know about Canada exam, but Australian Medical Council MCQ exam is lifetime exam. Once you have done that, the result is valid, stays valid for all your life. You can use that one all your life to get exemption from PRES 2. So the one extra point about this exam is what like this is valid for lifetime. And once you have done these two, any one of these exam, you can provide that evidence to Irish Medical Council. Then you will be able to sit for PRES 3 exam. PRES 3 exam is a very easy exam. It is same like PLAB 2. Um, it is a OSCE. Right now they are not conducting because of COVID, but like very soon they are going to start that. The fee for PRES 3 exam is around 815 euros. So you have to pay that fee, and that this money is just the exam fee. So once you have done these exams, then you will go for PRES 3 exam. You will pay 815 euros. You will book that exam. You will pass that exam. You will be registered with Irish Medical Council after paying the registration fees. Anyhow, what are the fees and charges which are involved in all this process, I will talk about at the end of the video. Okay, one good news for these graduates is what that you can still exempt from PRES if you have any one of the following. Like if you are eligible to for entry into the specialist division, and if you're a graduate of an Irish medical school and have completed internship training and been awarded a satisfactory certificate of experience. Of course, like none of you will fall in this category. And the last one is for EU medical school graduates. Okay, so this is the only option which applies on many of you. So now, what is the specialist division? Anyone who have done the specialist training, which is recognized by Ireland. Okay. Now, one more good news for these kind of medical graduates is like still you can exempt from PRES if you have um, one of the following qualifications. Okay, what are these qualifications? I will tell you now. For example, okay, all the qualifications which are recognized by Irish Medical Council to get exempt for PRES is available in this link. It's a huge list related to anesthesia, radiology, emergency medicine, gynecology. For example, if you have MRCPI or if you have MRCP UK, if you have done your anesthesia training or FCPS, there is a huge list. I would recommend you, if you can click on this link, I will give the link description in the video, and see like if you have any of those qualifications. Then of course you don't have to go for the press exam, but one catch is there: you must have an internship at least 12 months, which should be having 3 months in medicine and 3 months in surgery. I'm going to talk about this thing. If you don't have internship with 3 months of medicine and 3 months of surgery, then if you have 3 years of training program, which is again acceptable by Irish Medical Council, all the details is given in that link, then still you are eligible for the registration without any exam. But if you don't have any of these things, you have to sit for the press exam. So I already talk about press 1, press 2, which is not done these days. You have to do an alternate exam, and press 3, which is same like PLAB 2. And I told you the fee as well. Okay, now let's talk about what this video was like, is mainly about what. So now the good thing for many of the what you can say graduates from many of these countries is like when they have their internship done from these countries, they don't have to sit for any exam, provided that the internship should be according to the criteria required by the Irish Medical Council. So number one is Australia, number second is New Zealand, number third is South Africa, and the internship must have commenced from 1st July 2006 onwards. Before that, they don't accept. Number fourth is Pakistan, which is internship must have commenced from 1st January 2009 onwards, and the rotation meet the standard of an Irish internship. Then there is Sudan. Then there is Malaysia. On 1st January 2008, the internship program became a 2-year internship, and the evidence of 2-year internship must be provided after this date. Anyone who have done foundation year 1 in UK, or anyone who have done foundation year 1 and 2 from Malta. Okay, so these are all the uh, countries. If you have internship from any of these countries after the dates which are mentioned over here, you are eligible for registration, um, by providing the rest of the documents, but you don't have to sit for any exam. Now, this is the point. The rotations meet the standards of an Irish internship. Many of the medical graduates or doctors, they are stuck on this point because they don't understand, what kind of internship, or what we call back in the country is house job, they must do. So I have given clearly, and all this information is available on the website. You can see acceptable internship or house job rotations. So number one, you have to do it for 12 months. Number second is 3 months in general medicine and 3 months in general surgery is mandatory. You have to work at least 3 months. If it is less than 3 months, they won't accept. You have to do at least 3 months in general surgery and in general medicine. If you will do less than that, your internship will be rejected. And remember one thing, that once you will make a certificate from PMC, Pakistan Medical Council, they issue just once. Okay, they can make minor changes like the names they have mentioned, they can change that, but they don't change the dates. Okay, and if you are choosing to do some other internship like in some other departments as well, make sure that no rotation should be less than 2 months or more than 4 months. So your rotation can be in emergency medicine, in general practice, in obs and gynae, in pediatrics, in psychiatry, in anesthesia, in radiology. Very simple. If you're planning to come to Ireland, you can do like this way. You can do 3 months of surgery, 3 months of general medicine, 3 months of pediatrics, 3 months of gynae, or for many of you, 3 months in psychiatry, for example, or 3 months in radiology, for example. So make it very simple. When you are making the certificate from your from your hospital, make sure that this should clearly mention the dates when you started, when you ended up. They should clearly mention the name of the department. Don't write it as medicine 3 months, surgery 3 months. No, not like this. The rotations should be exactly mentioned. Okay, this is again the list which is taken from the Medical Council of Ireland. Like these are the acceptable departments you see: anesthesia, in pediatrics it can be pediatrics or pediatric cardiology; in medicine it could be general medicine, cardiology, clinical genetics, clinical neurophysiology, clinical pharmacology and therapeutics, dermatology, endocrinology, gastroenterology, genitourinary medicine, geriatric medicine, infectious, medical oncology, nephrology, neurology, palliative medicine, respiratory medicine, rheumatology, tropical medicine, and surgery, general surgery, cardiothoracic surgery, neurosurgery. So, see, all the things are given, You don't have to think about it, like what to write. Just write as it is. And the duration should be um, what you can say, with the dates when it started, when it ended up. Okay. So once you have done your internship, so all the medical graduates who are going to finish their medical school and they are planning to come to Ireland, they must know that they have done, like, they should choose their internship wisely. Okay, they must follow this thing, because if you will do less than 3 months in medicine or less than 3 months in surgery, you are gone. Or if you have done internship which is less than 2 months in any of the other categories, again you are gone. Then you have to go follow the PRES route. Okay, then you cannot take this opportunity. Okay, once you have done your internship, now what are the things you have to do? Apply for good standing certificate, apply for certificate of experience, do OET or IELTS, whatever you like, and do a EPIC verification. Now, what are these very easy steps? As we know, Pakistan Medical Council is now online, and they make it very simple. You do, like, before, you have to go to the medical superintendent or any doctor, to get your certificates verified every time, send it to PMC by post or PMDC by post, make bank drafts and things like this. So nowadays, it's very simple, it's online. Just you have to register with an online account. uh, Once your account is done, there, just click on certificate of good standing, and remember that is valid only for 6 months. So um, choose all the states like this, that um, you have done your internship. During internship, you have done your OET or IELTS, and after internship, you got your experience certificate. So first of all, apply for the experience certificate. um, you have to provide the hospital letter to the PMC. You have to upload it on their website. You just have to pay, I think it's very less, not too much money, 5,000 online, and simply they are going to verify. They take 2 to 3 months. Okay, sometimes more, sometimes less, because they send the documents to that hospital. Once the medical superintendent, they verify that, then it goes back to them, and then they make experience certificate and they post it to you, and then you post it to Ireland, or whatever you choose. Certificate of good standing is very, very, very simple. Now you just have to go online, click on that. They just charge 5,000 rupees for the certificate of good standing to deliver in Pakistan, and they charge 4,000 rupees extra, like 9,000 in total, to send your certificate of good standing directly to Irish Medical Council. But remember, your certificate of good standing is just valid for 6 months. So first of all, apply this. This one can be done very quickly. So these things you have to do online, and once you have these two things ready, then you have to, okay, I will suggest you that when you apply for the certificate of experience, at the same time go for epic verification system. What is epic verification now? This is one of the best things which can happen to the medical field. Epic is, um, you can say, authority or institution which verify the identity of the doctors and their certificates. And you can see, like, I have taken from their website. ECFMG provides access to a high quality service that verifies the authenticity of credentials related to a physician's medical education, training, and registration license. This primary source verification is the best practice and the best protection against any frauds or fraudulent credentials. What you have to do, I will tell you step by step. So, what I told you, uh, start the epic verification and the experience certificates together. You have to go to their website. It is epic.ecfmg. You will just search on Google, it will come up. You have to set up an account. You have to fill their epic identification form, also called as EIF. uh, Basically, you have to send your passport notarized copy to them, and they will see your names on that. They will upload that on that their website, and it stays there. And then you have to send your medical internship if you want, or medical degree, to them, and they are going to verify it from your medical school, and they will keep them in their record. So next time, for example, if you're applying for UK, you're applying for Australia, you're applying for Ireland, you're applying for any XYZ country, nowadays they just ask you epic verification. So once your documents are verified by them, it stays there. And for example, if you want to send the report to the UK, just open your epic account. They charge some fee like $50 or something like this, and uh, give them that money, and they will send the report right away or within 1 or 2 days. So you have to make an epic account. You have to fill up epic identification form, upload your credentials, means your passport, your degree, whatever, and you have to send the report. And I told you, like, you will just write Medical Council Ireland. Automatically they will show you the address, and you will click that, pay the money, and done. Your report will be sent directly to the medical council. Very easy to make an epic account as well. Okay. um, Wait. Okay, so this epic account, basically, uh, you can google that, and they take you step by step. Don't worry about that. This is not that much hard. Okay. Okay, so see, now you have done your epic verification, or you have started your epic verification, you have started your practical experience thing. It will take 1 to 2 or 3 months, for example, maximum, I can say. For example, if there is Christmas holidays or things like this, so the things will be with you within a couple of months, you can say. Once the things are with you, apply for certificate of good standing. So PMC can directly send it to the Medical Council of Ireland. So see, Epic have sent the report that your medical degree, your internship is genuine, not fake, or they are real, they are valid, and certificate of good standing is already sent. So the only few things which are left is like your English exam. So you have to send that. But before sending that, what you have to do is, as I told you, the first thing, create online registration account. Okay. So see, basically this thing you have to do at the end, or not at the end, but like after starting all this process. So uh, Again, medicalcouncil.ie, register a new account. Okay, very easy. So you can see before setting IMC account, for making sure that Epic has verified your degree and experience certificate, and both should be reports sent to IMC. You must have about above 410 euros in your account, and the card is active for international transactions. I will share each step of the account setting in details below. Visit the IMC website, click doctor's login, click apply now. The new user account page will open. Click the arrow for next. And once you have done that, enter your email, your username. You have to select yourself and set a password. And after that, you have to fill in your personal details. Okay. Once your personal details are done, a window will pop up mentioning your transaction reference ID and message that an email has been sent. And basically, it would be best to record your ID. Okay. So that ID basically stays with you. So now what you have to do, like once this thing is done and your account is set up, then you have to again press open website, press doctor's login by the username or the password which you have selected, and then there will be just one very simple page and you will find this thing, complete application. Okay. And after you will press that, again it will take you step by step. On one step they will ask you your Epic ID, you will write that. From that they would know like the Epic have sent the verification, so it is under that ID. And you will fill in your personal details, choose no for internship registration because you are applying for general registration. Okay. And on the next tab, click certificate of experience route if you are from Pakistan, if you have the required uh, internship. Otherwise choose PRES route. Okay. Like for those who don't have this uh, certificate of experience route. So for many of the Pakistani graduates, you will click certificate of experience route. And then you will add your qualification, which is basically MBBS. And then you have to provide them with your home country council number, like PMDC or PMC council number. And after that, you have to add up your experience. Now, experience is very easy to add. Just they have like few sections, name of the hospital, address, your role. Either you were a house officer, you were a medical officer, or in other words, you are a SHO or a registrar, whatever like his designations. When you started, when you finished. If you have any breaks, just mention them. What was that for? Either you take a study leave or something like this. Okay. But most of the doctors, they don't have these kind of gaps once you have started internship. So you have to provide all the details, all the experiences you have to add. Then click proceed with application. Then okay, yes, this thing can be confusing for you because many of you don't know about is that it is called as professional indemnity requirements. So when you work over here, you must have, you can say, a insurance or a indemnity, like in case of any uh, future issues, you should have some cover. uh, don't think about it at all at the moment, because what you can do is just take the option one. Even option two is also fine. Okay, but click the option one. So then they will ask you many declarations, like either you were have any conviction, any malpractice, any time like you were rejected with any registration thing, like many questions like this. Just click yes, 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 like, or no, 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 whatever like is the answer. Read that and go through that, and in the last but just click proceed and pay for your application or account fee. Okay. This is a sample experience entry, like post held, house officer, specialty held, whatever is your specialty, employer name, name of the hospital, employer address, and put that. Okay. And if you have any gaps, add whatever was, like either it was marriage leave, study leaves, or whatever. Okay, so once you have done that, then you have to do the last step. The last step is you have to send the documents by post to IMC. And the documents which are needed to be sent by courier to IMC is they will email you, uh, ask for what kind of documents they need. But basically, what they need is like a color photocopy of your passport, your English exam results, which we have done, but we haven't given it to EPIC because they need not to be EPIC verified. So you have to send your OET or IELTS result directly to IMC. Remember, the passport should be notarized. Okay, and that can be done easily. And remember to send it through a good service like TCS or DHL or whatever. And the address is available on their website. It is medicalcouncil.ie. You can go press contact us, look at their address, and send them. And simply when they send you an email, they mention their address anyway. So this is like simply the overview is very simple. See, you have to be very careful while you are choosing your house rotations or your internship rotations. Once you have completed your internship, you must be very careful while you are making the certificate from your hospital. Then go for epic verification and go for experience certificate. Once they are done or they are almost going to be done, apply for good standing and make sure that you must start preparing for your OET and IELTS at the start of an internship. That like during that 1 year you must have the English exam record result card in your hand, and that English exam is only valid for 2 years, OET or IELTS. Okay, after 2 years you have to do it again. So that is an overview. If you have any questions, you can write down in the comments. I can answer you whenever I get free time. What are the cost and charges which are involved in this one? I'm not sure about this one. That degree, how much they charge. I know about my time, they used to charge around 5,000 rupees. A PMC experience certificate fee is very less. It is like around 3 to 5,000. Epic account fee is 125 USD. Okay, just to register the account, and then you can see the current rate. Okay, I am not like updated about the current rate. Then you have to verify your degree and experience certificate by Epic. That will charge you 180 USD. That involves everything, like from verification until they will send the report to the Medical Council of Ireland. Then uh, PMC verification fee, I think that is like again in rupees, less than 5,000 or 5,000. Okay, Ireland Medical Council basically charge 420 euros for the application fee. Okay, and once this thing is done, then you have to give them the registration fee of 605 euros. Okay, you can convert them into your local currencies, and PMC good sending certificate is 5,000, and 9,000 if you want to send it directly to the medical council from PMC. So these are all the costs and charges involved, but I will recommend you one more thing. Many of the my doctors, they are writing on the groups that how long it takes, and they are not replying us. They don't reply, by the way. Why? Because they just give the timeline. Remember that all this process starting from your epic verification until getting all the certificates ready take 3 months, around 3 months anyways. And once your all the documents are with Ireland Medical Council, um, it takes time to get your registration done. Okay, so have a good time in your mind. And of course, like, I'm not giving you any timeline regarding to that. Why? Because nowadays there is COVID, and sometimes many doctors are applying, so of course, like, the things change. So I hope like this video is like you find it informative, and if you have any questions you can ask. I will try to make a video about PRES 3 exam, how to prepare for that, so that it will also help for other medical students from other countries as well. So thank you so much for listening. Wish you all good luck.